everyone, and welcome to another video of Pokemon Cope. My name is BanukaSouls109, and today I'm going to show you how to evolve certain mons in Pokemon Cope. And as for the people that have not played this game before, this is just in case if people commit when it comes to stuff like that. So, long story short, it's like, I've wanted to make this video just mostly for, just Pokemon Cope in general, like, because there's not much evidence or any guides of how to evolve certain mons, or how to find or where to find them. But in this video, I'm going to show you where to find the certain mons, and even, like, certain legendaries, and even the unknown ones that I'll show you in the PC right now. And I'll try the best I can to give you a guide of where to find it as much as possible, so... Hello, Editor Banuka here. Unfortunately, there are some Pokemons I couldn't obtain due to the outdated version that I have, or the ROM hack designer I haven't updated since then. But anyways, here are the Pokemons that aren't available in this version that I have, which is version 0.9.5. And the Pokemons are Tiamat, Spangbab, Loituma, Gigaputty, Seraphil, Shiribiko, Neanonite, Regishort, Regigon, and Sablini. If you know how to get these Pokemons, please let me know in the comments down below. As for the ones available like Realwalker, Amogiria, and Fanturney, these are the Pokemons that are manageable to find, but they need to be specific. Realwalker can be found in the Water Labyrinth, and I really don't know where it is, so let me know if anybody knows about this. To get Amogiria, there's two ways of getting it. Either it can be evolved from Floribel with a Leaf Stone, or it can be found in the Celadon Casino for 5,000 coins. And lastly, to get Fanturney, you need to get a golden key in the Pokemon Tower and then go back to where Bill's house was, and go east all the way, and you'll find a cave, and the moment you enter, the Pokemon is right there, and FYI, and a warning. I thought this was a soft lock at the time, but kudos to someone talking about it. It seems that it's possible to get out of there by using the HM Fly. So that's all I have to say for this. If you want to know where to get these Pokemons or how to evolve them, I'll leave a link to the description of the Google Doc below. So have fun reading, and let's get back to the show. To begin, let's go start off with the Pokédex, shall we? To start off with, like for starters, here we have is one of my favorite starters for being a grass type. This is Maplage. Or Maplage, whatever you pronounce it. There's two ways to get this mon. Either you can get it from getting it as a starter at the beginning of the game by Professor Kixandra, or you can just go to the Safari Zone and get it over there. Just a fair warning, it is a rare encounter to get this fella, so good luck trying to shiny hunt this fella, because getting the shiny in this game specifically is actually, according to the developers who made the game, is that, whoever made the ROM hack, is that it took like, not took, but it's most likely to do with, like, it's like 200 and something to 1 when it comes to getting those shiny odds, which is pretty easy to get shinies in this game, so kudos to that. I remember there was another one that was by Ultra XD, so let's move on. Hazelnut, you can, like, to evolve it into Hazelnut, it has to be at level 16 when it becomes into Hazelnut. And then it fully evolves into Genokio at level 36, being a grass fairy type that is actually considered a mixed attacker. Again, the reason why I'm not showing, like, these parts here, because I know their areas are unknown, but these mons are considered one of my favorite design-wise, like, out of all the starters. But Magmata, on the other hand, as I mentioned before, you can get either as a starter, or you can go to one island in the Volcanic Summit area, which is right over there. Like, it could be found around there in that area specifically. So, yeah, like, yeah, to get Magmata, either you can have him as a starter, which I highly recommend getting it as a starter so you don't gotta worry afterwards, and you can actually get both the water and the grass type starter at, like, early on in the game. So that's the only way if you ever gonna get this mon in the first place. So yeah, like, that's how you get them on. In a nutshell, that's how you get them on. So yeah, it could be either you can get it as a starter, or you can go to the Infernal Summit, which is a different name because I really don't remember the names in the original Fire Red game. So yeah. To evolve it into Delava, it's the same thing as the other starters. Level 16, and then level 36, it becomes Sailsurker, which is a very menacing threat, I must admit. And it's a really cool design for a starter, honestly. Like, it looks awesome. That's all I have to say. To get Frudge, either, same thing, the same debacle. Either get it as a starter, or you can encounter it at the lower area in the game. To find Frudge, you can either get it as a starter, or you can find it somewhere in the sand, and it's as I stated before, just like the other starters, there are 5% encounters, so good luck trying to get it. And it can be found in Route 19 in the sand. Pretty neat, isn't it? Aqueous, same thing, levels up at level 16 it evolves, and then it fully evolves at level 36. And obviously this is a reference to Perfect Chaos. Meanwhile, the grass type is a reference to Gino and Pinocchio, and Sailsurker is based off Berserk. So that's pretty cool. Canna Maple. Canna Maple can be found either in Route 5 and 16 as well, believe it or not. And it can also be found in the Safari Zone. So yeah, it can be found there. Frozeweed. Like, this mon can either you can find it by Route 18, Safari Zone, Cope Brink, or Iceball Cave, which are also the areas in post-game and also later on in the game, which they can be found there. And he evolves at level 20. Wimple. Ooh, Wimple is a very interesting case. You can find it early in Route 4 before the Cerulean Gym, so you can encounter this fella really early on in the game, or you can encounter it in the Pattern Bush. It is literally just a pure bug type. And it has a first evolution that evolves at level 22, or you can find it in Route 12 or Route 13. As mentioned here, it can be found in Route 12 and 13. To evolve it into Whimsicuffs, it evolves at level 36 like a starter. There's many ways. Either you can get a Route 23 or in Victory Road. So your choice. Floribel. Okay. Floribel can be found in Route 22, 3, 5, and 13, and evolves into Mageria at level 30. And I will get to the other evolution later on, just to clarify, and these are the locations it can be found as well. It can be found at the Safari Zone, the Kindle Road, Bond Bridge, and Canyon Entrance. Larviti. Larviti can be found at Route 12 and Weedle Forest. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It shows it right there. So, as for Grumpoon, it evolves at level 7, which is pretty early on. I mean, it is kind of a bug type in a sort of way. It can be found in the Weedle Forest, but I would assume it's like a uncommon encounter, so... And to evolve it into Kumkoth, you need to have high friendship to evolve it. Either that, or you could go to the back area of Weedle Forest, or Route 16, or the Bond Bridge. Because they're also very rare encounters. They're very, very rare to encounter. And I feel like for a starter, it's actually very interesting for being a bug type, and it fully evolves by friendship. Like an actual kitty cat. Ain't that neat? A Floof is literally just based off of Danganronpa with, based off the bear, which is, I believe is Mokuma. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, it can be found at Route 22, 5, 8, 11, and Safari Zone as it's shown on the map right here. So, and to evolve it into Disberry, as for people who have played Pokemon Sword and Shield up until now, there's a Pokemon by the name of Toxel that evolves into Toxtricity, but it has different versions, actually. It has this one and the E-Bill version. One is the Unsable version, and one is the E-Bill version. And this one, I don't know why this one is unknown, meanwhile the other one is that you can actually find it. And it can only be found in the Safari Zone if you want to encounter it. They both evolve at level 30, and it depends on nature. So let's just say if you have like a rash nature or an adamant nature, there's a possibility you can get Evil form Disberry, while meanwhile you get like Modest or whatever, and you get this Disberry instead. Okay, Monkite is pretty much the common early bird of the game, and it can be found at Route 1, 2, 24, and 25. It evolves into Konglide, which I like how it's based off Son Goku of Journey to the West, which is based off Sun Wukong. That's pretty cool. It evolves into Monkites at level 18, and Yokites, which I think this is pretty rad, I had to admit, for a Tengu monkey. He evolves at level 37. With that one, I feel like there's no encounters for them at all. Like, it shows it right there, Conglide and all that stuff. So yeah, like, you can find a lot of Monkites on better levels, so you can just evolve it into Conglide, but unfortunately, they cannot be found. Hamstatic can only be found in one specific area, which you could just evolve it into Ampstar already, but you can find him in the Weedle Forest. He's pretty much the Pikachu of the game, that sums it up perfectly. And yeah, it's also based off the Hamster Dance song, and I thought that was a bop when I was a kid. This fella evolves at level 17, or you can find him in Viridian City, or you can just find it in Route 10. Yeah, some you can get it by surfing, so yeah. Germouse. To get Germouse is exactly what it shows. It can be found either Route 3, Mount Moon, or the Mafia Mansion. And to evolve it into German, it evolves at level 40 and cannot be found whatsoever. So, Cowabummer. So yeah, here we have is Scuba Pro and Scuba Anti. Because it seems like, okay, let me see, Anti, they're all based off quote-unquote opinion mons in general, which I find it interesting, like one arrow's upwards and one arrow's downwards. It's kind of interesting, I must say. And to find Scuba Pro, you can find them in Pallet Town, Celadon City, Fushisa City, One Island, Kindle Road, Safari Zone, Route 6, 10, 19, 20, and 21, as it's shown on the map right here. And it says that it evolves. It says there evolve Scuba Anti at level 22 for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, because to me they're like the Basculin of the game, because there's both the red and blue, just like a Basculin. As for the Anti, same thing. It can also be found around those areas. And this is the one where I feel like they evolved to this. So let's see. It's based off just like their patterns. Here we have a Scubacist. Scubacist can be found in these locations here in Route 6, 10, 19, 20, 21, 23, Pallet Town, Safari Zone, One Island, Treasure Beach, Kindle Road, Cope Brink, Berry Forest, Ice Cave, Five Isle Meadow, Memorial Pillar, Water Labyrinth, and Resort Gorgeous. And now, to get a Scuba Sail, it's kind of similar to the other one, you kind of get the idea. It's in Route 6, 10, 19, 20, 21, 23, Pallet Town, Safari Zone, One Island, Treasure Beach, Kindle Road, Berry Forest, Five Island, Five Isle Meadow, Memorial Pillar, Water Labyrinth, and Resort Gorgeous. That's where you mostly find them. Petastone can be found in Mount Moon, Rock Tunnel, Kindle Road, Lost Cave, Dotted Hole, Savalt Canyon, and the Revenant Cave, which I'll get to that later. It seems like, yeah, it's also in the Revenant Cave as well, so. To evolve it into Palaya, you have to evolve the Petastone with a Leaf Stone, or you can find it at Route 23, Safari Zone, Victory Road, Lost Cave, Savalt Canyon, and Revenant Cave. They can be found in those locations. Erosure, which is a rock ground type, that funny enough, it has the water absorbability, hilariously enough. Erosure, you had to evolve it into Petastone with a Markstone, which, the Markstone, just to clarify, they can only be found, they can be found on certain mons, but I highly recommend going to the Celadon City, I believe it's called. It's the one city that is where the grass type is, in the mall, like in the market, where it has a bunch of stones and everything. You go over there, and that's how you get them. And I will make a separate video to show you their locations and everything. So, I'll just make it as a separate video so you guys can actually see it yourselves. So, for now, you're basically just looking at this at the moment, so that's why. However, like, besides the point is, you can get it also in Route 23, can be found in Rock Tunnel, Safari Zone, Victory Road, and Lost Cave. Okay, TARDIS. This guy, you can find it only in Mount Moon only. Like Mount Moon over there, which is, as stated before. And to evolve it into Terrataurus, you can either evolve it with a Mark Stone, as I mentioned before, or they can be found in Victory Road. Well, ain't that very neat. Bandicoot is one of my favorite ground types in the game. It's like the Cubone of this game, but on steroids. That's what I love about this fella. Very bulky, hits like a truck. So yeah, either they can be found in the Fussjahl Cave, like Fussjahl's Cave, which is basically like Diglett's Cave of the game. Route 17, 18, and Savault Canyon. That's where you can find them. However, you can find the evolution, which, as I stated before, this is basically the Marowak of the game. You know, very bulky, very powerful, and hits really hard. And Bandicoot evolves into Nuttycoot at level 34, or you can just find it in Victory Road or the Savault Canyon. That's the only way you can find it there. Frijolero. Either you can find him in Route 3, Route 25, 7, 12, 13, Cope Brink, and Bond Bridge. That's where you can find him. To evolve it into Picantero, it evolves at level 21, or it can be found in Route 6, Safari Zone, and Cope Brink. It fully evolves into Sherry Fuego. As for Sherry Fuego, he evolves at level 40, and there's no way of capturing him in the wild. Juanqui, this mon is very interesting. It has multiple evolutions, and I'll get to that later. All I can tell you this, it can be found in Route 5 or the Safari Zone. That's all I gotta say. And here we have is Equan. If I can recall, Equan evolves at level 34, but I'll get to the other one later on. Because there's another mon that also can evolve into Equan, which is evolving to Hor, which is H-O-R, with high friendship. Or you can find it in the Safari Zone, so it's like there's no point. Shroommag, I heard he's actually really good. It is an electric grass type, to say the least, which makes it a very unique typing. Shroommag can only be found in Mount Moon, and the only way you want to have the evolution is at level 24 is when it fully evolves. My apologies if I ever misled when it comes to the evolution, so my apologies. Arachnote, oh my god, it's based off an Omatone basically. Arachnotes can be found either in Viridian City, the back area of Weedle Forest if you go deeper, or the Berry Forest, and that's how you get them. Burn Nugget can be found at Route 17, the one that you go down the area, and it evolves into Flarhy, which evolves at level 34, or you can find it at Route 16, 17. Yeah, it can be found in Route 16, 17, Safari Zone, and Kindle Road. That's where you can find them. Dirty Biss, it is a ground flying type, it can only be found in Route 22. Ebask, unfortunately, you can only try and evolve it at level 28, so you cannot find it a while if you want to complete the Pokédex. Tortini, it's literally based off Engineer from TF2, because I like that's what I love about this game, it's references I actually do get. Tortini can be found at Route 12, as well as Route 19 in the sand, and on Treasure Beach. Turret, on the other hand, either you could evolve it at level 30 from Tortini, or find it in Victory Road or Treasure Beach. I remember there was a time I actually found it shiny, and I kind of lost it, because I was trying to complete the deck, so I was like, man, it'd be like that. Mimic Crab. It can be found either at Route 4, Route 14, well, not 14, my apologies, sorry if I misled. It can be found in Route 4, Route 24, 12, and in the sand in Route 19. The Cerulean City and the Safari Zone, they can be found in there. To evolve it into Spike Crab, either evolve it at level 30 or find it in the Safari Zone, Axel Isle, or Treasure Beach. Yeah, they're there, honestly. Stoutlet can be found in Route 9 or in Lavender Town. Yeah, they can be found around that area. And it is a flying dark type, which is very interesting. It evolves into this thing, and unfortunately, it cannot be found in the area, which means the only way, if you want to get this fella on your team, you need to fully evolve it into level 16, which you should have had it on 16 by now. I think you encounter it around in the 10s or 13s or so. So it's not too bad. High Duck is just basically the side duck of the game. These are the areas that can be found. Can be found in Viridian City, Fushisa City, Safari Zone, Axel Isle, Route 21, Treasure Beach, Coke Brink, Berry Forest, and the Icefall Cave. And that's how you get this one. Blue Duck, either you can evolve it at level 33, or it can be found in the Axel Isle, Treasure Beach, and Coke Brink. Oh, Platilix, this is a very interesting one. Either you could evolve it by giving it a Moonstone, or trade it by one of the NPCs in the Cerulean City. So yeah, there's like only two options when it comes to this mon, so he cannot be found anywhere. The best way you can have it is either give it a Moonstone so it can evolve, or you can just trade it by an NPC so you can have it on your team, so that's pretty neat. Yes, Chrissy. Chrissy has multiple evolutions. It's pretty much, in my opinion, to my version of a Dark Electric Eevee. To me, Chrissy is like an Eevee, basically. And it sums it up perfectly. As it says here, it can be found in the Pokemon Tower, Celadon City, Cinnabar Island, Route 21, 5 Island Meadow, and Memorial Pillar. Okay, Krakow Demon, it's literally based off, like, the Kako Demons and Krakow from Kirby, and Kako Demon from Doom. So, and it evolves with a Thunderstone, or it can be found in 5 Isle, Meadow, Memorial Pillar, or Pokemon Tower. Those are the areas that can be found there. Realwalker, the only way you can get that, you have to fully evolve it at level 52. And it is a Dark Electric type. And Susko, which is a Dark Steel type, it evolves if you give it a Metal Coat. Shroomco is with a Moonstone. Again, cannot be found. Krakenwalker. Oh yeah, let me go back. Shroomco, it is a Dark Flying type. And Krakenwalker, it is a Water Electric type, which you have to give it a Water Stone so it can evolve. Well, ain't that neat. Triderling, it is a Bug Steel type that can only be found in Route 9. As hilariously enough, its evolution is more common than in comparison to Triderling. Either you can evolve at level 33, or it can be found at Route 14, 15, Berry Forest, Weedle Forest in the back area. Those are the only way you can actually get the Tarantagon. I love how it's the word tarantula and hexagon. No, octagon, I'm stupid. Okay, Cheepoof can be found at Route 9, just like most of the mons at this point. Cheesta. Well, this was a very interesting combination, having an electric fire type. There's two ways of getting it, either getting at Route 15 or Safari Zone, or you could just evolve it at level 31, which I did on my first playthrough of the game. Vine Dupe, it can be found in the Weedle Forest, Kindle Road, and the outside of Inferno Summits. That's the only way you can get it. And it's a Grass Fire type, just to balance everything out, which is pretty cool, though. Ramboom, you can evolve it at level 21, and they can be found in Kindle Road, if you're ever gonna progress on to the quest line after you beat the 6th gym leader. To get Vine Bomb, it shows it right here. It can be found outside the Infernal Summit at the tip of it. Explovine. It is a grass fighting type that is found mostly in Island 1, which is in the area of either it can evolve with a Leaf Stone, or you can find it in Kindle Road. So yeah, that's how you get it. Okay, Glub. This fella, as it shows here, this fella appears more often like the plague itself. Let me look at this. Either it can be found on... Oh boy, this is going to be a heavy reader, holy shit. Glub can be found in Pallet Town, Viridian City, Cerulean City, Celadon City, Fushisa City, Cinnabar Island, Route 4, 6, 24, 25, 10, 12, 13, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 1 Island, Kindle Road, Bond Bridge, 4 Island, 5 Island, 5 Island Meadow, Memorial Pillar, Water Labyrinth, Resort Gorgeous, Water Path, Green Path, Outcast Island, Ruin Valley, Trainer Tower, and Tanobi Ruins. Oh man, that's a mouthful. And it evolves into Flubster. It's not as much compared to Glub, But you kind of get the idea. They can be found in these areas, and it evolves at level 12. Or you could just get it from these areas as shown down here below, if you could just remember it, that it's right over there. I'm sorry if I feel like a broken record. Blabastard. Okay, Blabastard is a very interesting one, and yes, it can also be found as well. Either you can find it in these locations here, or you could just evolve it with a water stone. And there's another one that I'll get to it very soon. Poltire. They can only be found in Vermilion City, Lavender Town, Celadon City, Fushisa City, and Route 11. And it is considered a ghost poison type, which is rather interesting to say the least. I've underestimated Junkgeist, I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first fought somebody who used it properly, and I was like, that's impressive. I'd expect it to be weak or whatever, but it actually hits really hard. But it seems like it doesn't evolve into that, so, which is kind of strange. I mean, I believe he does evolve into that. I may be wrong about this, so correct me if I'm wrong if that's how you evolve it, so my apologies, I'm just using this for reference. But they can be found in Vermilion City, Celadon City, Fushisa City, and Cinnabar Island, and even Route 11 and 23. That's where you can encounter them. Onusalt. You can find this fellow in Mount Moon, Rock Tunnel, Route 6, 9, nice, 18, and 19. And it evolves into Gastropod, which you can evolve it either at level 33, or you can find these fellas in Cerulean City, Victory Road, and Route 18. I wouldn't say it's Cerulean City, it's more in the Revenant Cave area. It's in that area specifically. Whoopsies. Buggy, it's one of the basic mons that you can encounter at the beginning area. It can be found either in Route 1, 2, and 17. That's where you can find it. The evolution Bugatti, like Bugatti, get it? Bugatti, either you could evolve at level 27, or you can go to Route 17. Bullet Bead, you could give it a metal coat, and yeah, you can't even find it. So the best way you can get this mon is by giving it a metal coat, unfortunately. Weatherbane, oh boy, Weatherbane is an interesting fella. According to this, it says that Weatherbane can be found in Thunderdome and the Mafia Mansion. However, it seems like, according to the game, is that there's a according to the information I have been given, either it can be found as a static encounter inside the Thunderdome, or you could just find it in the Thunderdome as is, but it's a very, very rare encounter. Or you can go to Cinnabar Island and trade a Cyclonian just to get Weatherbane. So ain't that pretty neat? And speaking of Cyclonian, there he is, which is literally based off Mallow from our RPG. And yeah, same thing with Weatherbane. Can also be found in Mafia Mansion and Thunderdome. Well, ain't that swell? Hee the horny Pokemon. I get it. Toot toot. The Doomter can be only found in the sand area of Route 19. It's a very uncommon encounter to find him, but it's right there. To evolve it into this behemoth, it evolves at level 31, and if you give it, I believe, a metal coat, it's either a metal coat or something else, like a Malice Pill, and I will talk about the Malice Pill very soon, and I will show you how to get them, like, once I'm finished with the Pokédex. Either that, or you just see in the video in the background of how to get it, so there you go, it's literally just right there. Okay, Sandnickel can be found in Route 24, 11, 12, 19, which is in the sand, just like almost anything else in Route 19. Vermilion City, Safari Zone, Treasure Beach, basically. And that's how you get it. Sounds about right. It evolves into Scotius, I believe it's pronounced. Scotius. You could evolve at level 29, or it can be found in Viridian City, Vermilion City, Route 11, 19, 23, and the Safari Zone. But they're mostly found in the water, so you can find them almost anywhere. Okay, Root Chew can be found in Viridian City, Cerulean City, Route 22, 4, 24, 25, Safari Zone, Kindle Road, Berry Forest, 4 Island, Water Path, and Ruined Valley. And it is a water ground type. I remember it has a unique ability. I believe it was Sap Sipper, I believe. Which is Toothgrew, which is a grass ground type, which I'm surprised, and you cannot get it. The only way to get it is by giving it a leaf stone. That's the only way to get it. It's kind of interesting. It's like, it went from a water ground type that I believe it had Sap Sipper, or maybe when it evolves it gets Sap Sipper. I may be wrong. So yeah, Hognod. Either you could evolve Raichu at level 40 if you had the patience for that, or you could just go to Route 22 or Berry Forest to encounter it, and that's how you get this fella. Ooh, Volticore is a very interesting fella. It starts off as an electric type, but can be found in Route 4 and 10. However, it evolves into Volbrat, and it's still an electric type. Either you can evolve at level 18, or you can get it at Route 14, 15, Thunderdome, Waterpath, and Ruined Valley. That's how you get it. Goliath, on the other hand, he is quite the behemoth, and wow. It's considered a really good electric dragon type. I remember it's like, it was really fast and it hits really hard. Or maybe it had modern speed, I'm not so sure. It's been a while, honestly. Either you can fully evolve it to level 46, or finding it in Victory Road, Waterpath, and Ruined Valley, and that's how you get it. Strolge. Yeah, Strolge can be found in the Safari Zone. It could also be given to you as a gift in Silphco, or even in the Icefall Cave. So pretty much, this fella is pretty much, quote-unquote, the Lapras of Cope, in a sort of way. So it's pretty much the Lapras of the game. I remember, like Pokemon Cope, like, on Pokemon Showdown, like its own Clover Showdown, literally has their own resprites of this fella. But anyways, to get Tap Poison, you can find it in Route 4, 24, and 25, and even the Cerulean City. Unfortunately, the rest of the line, the only way you can get this Poison Dragon type, it's from level 14 to level 36. So, like, basically similar to a starter in a sort of way. Okay, Flabunny. Flabunny, this is a very rare encounter, in case if you're wondering. They can only be found in the first floor, and it's a very rare encounter if you're lucky to encounter one. It is a Fairy Psychic type, and it's a very rare encounter to get it. It evolves into Lepuse, which is the second evolution at level 16, and it cannot be found anywhere. Consider another Fairy Psychic type. And this is also another Fairy Psychic type, Lunabit. Lunabit, it evolves at level 32 fully. It fully evolves at level 32 anyways. And now, here comes one of my favorite fighting ground types in the game, and its name is Helmata. Can only be found in the Sandstorm part of the area in the Safari Zone, as shown here. Punkyu, again, just like the evolution line, it's considered ground fighting. And it fully evolves into Camille. I thought it was Chamli, but no, it's Camille. You know, like chameleon. So yeah, Camille, it fully evolves at level 30, and not to mention the fact that at this point you literally just have a higher level Helmata that can fully evolve into Camille immediately, which is very neat. Okay, Watitude is a very interesting one. It reminds me of, like, Scooby-Doo in cyberspace, I believe? I kind of forgot. I believe it was in cyberspace when they were trying to deal with a monster that is considered electricity and all that stuff. And this fella can only be found in the Thunderdome, which, yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, this is also one of my favorites, which is the Psychic-type Mon. Meet Tominot. To find this fella, you can find it around 21, and most of the area in Island 5, which is in 5 Isle Meadow, Memorial Pillar, or you could just buy one in the casino for 2,000 coins. So yeah. To evolve into Star Hero, which is a Psychic Fighting type, it evolves if you give it a Sunstone. And to evolve into Doubtlaw, which is a Psychic Ghost type, you can give it a Moonstone, vice versa, which is the opposite of that. Polybrawn. This fella can be found in many floors of the Mafia Mansion, and they're all considered electric fighting types, as it's shown here, because it mimics the other mons as well, which I find it very interesting that they got their own sprite and everything. It's like, kudos to the amounts of effort these people had to put in. Winkulu. This is literally based off a Terraria reference. Rinkulu can only be found in the Pokemon Tower, and there's no other way to find it. However, to evolve it into Tamaria, and Ritwina, okay, Dark Steel type, and yeah, they're both considered Dark Steel types, but it's all based off personality, and it fully evolves at level 41 if you want to get both of them. One is an apple, while the other one is grapes, and I was like, that's very interesting. And the other way to get those two, again, it's the same problem with the Floof line when it fully evolves into Disberry, because just like Disberry, it's based off personality to get this mon. Okay, 3-Dog, the only way to get 3-Dog, you can only buy it in the Celadon Casino for 1,000 coins. There's no other way to get it. Ooh, Bulbasaur is very interesting. You can find this fella in Route 11. And hilariously enough, it's an evolution version. It's a fairy poison type. This is a pure fairy type, and this is a pure well, not pure. Like a fairy poison type. Bungaloon, if you can evolve it into Bulbasaur at level 33, or it can be found in Route 23, Victory Road, or the Berry Forest. It's very funny, this fellow is more common than its small counterpart. That's sad. Envile can be found at 6, well, no. Okay. It can be found at Route 6 and 11. Caustic Rock. Either you could just evolve it into that at level 33, Envile. You could evolve it into Envile at level 33, or it could be found in Route 23 or Victory Road. Infection is the Pokemon that you could just find in Route 15 and 18, in between the Fushisa City. It's right there. Inkro can only be found at Route 3, and that's pretty much to say about this one. Okay, Liquill, this fella is more common than its small counterpart. And yeah, Liquill can only be found in either you could evolve at level 16, or you can just find it in Route 9, 14, or 15. Ravarnish evolves at level 36 is when it fully evolves, but unfortunately there's no other way to find it. Okay, Nitin is the Sown Pokemon, and you can find them in Route 4 and 8. And back to the personality base, Substitute, this fella, can be found at Route 8, 7, and Bond Bridge. Meanwhile, Dull Ghost can only be found in Pokemon Tower. Or you can just evolve one or the other at level 25, but it's based off their personality, as mentioned before. Okay, Pascal, you can either find it in Rock Tunnel or Pokemon Tower, and it's a Dark Normal type, which is rather interesting. Okay, what was the other one? Dark Normal, Normal Dark? Like, bruh, how does that work? Okay, it seems like there's two ways, ways to get this mon. Either you can find it in the Lost Cave, or the Victory Road, or if you want to, it evolves via friendship. Volcarion can be found in Lavender Town and around the Pokemon Tower, so that's the other way to get it. Sepulture, when it fully evolves at level 41, which is understandable. This goes hard, like, as in, like, this looks really cool. Okay, Mad Ghost. It can be found in Route 25, 6, 7, goddammit, Lavender Town, and Bond Bridge. It evolves into Cocoon at level 8, and there's no other way to find it. It's very funny, its full evolution is a higher chance to find. Meanwhile, its Cocoon Cocoon counterpart is not even available. To evolve it into Famanthum, or Famanthum? Yeah, Famanthum, that's a funny name. You can either find it in the back area of Weedle Forest, or it can be found in Berry Forest and even the Revenant Cave, which is interesting. Moblin, and no, we're not talking about, like, Moblins like in Legend of Zelda or anything. Moblin, you can find it in Route 15, 14, 18, and the Mafia Mansion, which is understandable. Fangster, Honestly, Fangster can only be found in the Mafia Mansion, or you can evolve it at level 20. Mafiadon can also be found in the mansion as well, and it can be found in Victory Road. Or you can fully evolve it at level 40, and it's a Dark Dragon type, which is very interesting, I must admit. It used to be a pure Dragon type, and now it became a Dark Dragon. Hall Monitor, no matter what, they can be found either... They can only be found in the Underground Path, and to me, it's kind of similar to... It's kind of similar to the ground flying type in Clover, which is either the ho fuck no or the motherfucks. Yeah, those guys, they're basically identical to this guy, but the difference is they don't screw you over when you're trying to get them and everything. Flurium, they can be found from Route 11, 12, and 13. And its evolution, you can evolve it at level 36, and it's a grass steel type, or steel grass type as it's shown here. It evolves at level 36 and can be found in Route 13, Water Path, and Ruin Valley if you want to. Okay, Tokoyaki is a very interesting one. It can be found in Route 424, Cerulean City, Safari Zone, Kindle Road, and Cope Brink. Meanwhile, its evolution, you can get it at level 35 or only in Kindle Road, which is understandable why it's in that area. Peasel can be found in these said areas, mostly in the water. I would assume it's like in the specific areas of the water. Can be found in Viridian City and Route 6, Fushisa City, Safari Zone, Cope Brink, Four Island, Icefall Cave, Water Path, Green Path, Outcast Island, Ruin Valley, and Tanabe Ruins. And to get Vaponabe, it's kind of identical to its evolution. I mean, like its previous one, like, you know, the baby form. It evolves at level 25, or you can find it, again, Viridian City, Route 6, 20, Cope Brink, Berry Forest, Four Island, Icefall Cave, and Tanabe Ruins. Harshogun, you can fully evolve it with a Water Stone. Pretty much, come to think of it, Peasel is basically the Poliwag of this game. Instead of being a water fighting type, it is a water normal type. Well, ain't that swell? It could be either you can evolve it with a Water Stone, similar to Poliwrath, or you can find it in Viridian City, Route 23, Water Path, Green Path, Outcast Island, Ruin Valley, and Tanabe Ruins. So yeah, you can basically find the whole line in Tanabe Ruins at this point. Okay, Simionak. I believe it's pronounced Simionak. I may be crazy, but I believe so. Is a pure fighting type that can be found outside the Inferno Summit, the Canyon entrance, or you could be given from the Saffron Dojo, which is pretty neat, I do say so myself. Ooh, Larvitrice. This fella can be encountered early on, like around level, not level, but around Route 25, 9, and Rock Tunnel. So yeah, they can be encountered early in the game, which is around the Cerulean Gym. Brashalis, this fella can only be found only in the Rock Tunnel, if I can recall. Yeah, they can only be found in the Rock Tunnel, but I believe it's a very rare encounter. And it's a level 22s when it evolves. To get Koi Kaiju, you have to evolve it at level 38. Meanwhile, its other evolution, Levititan, which, funny enough, it is a pure flying type in this game. I expected a dragon flying type, and this one is considered a dark flying type. I was like, I don't get it. Levititan, you had to give it a dragon scale if you want to get this mon. Oh boy, here comes this line. Sportstool, this fella can be found mostly in Mount Moon in the bottom levels of the area where you can find the other mushroom fella. They can be found in Mount Moon, Weedle Forest, and Route 16. I mostly prefer finding them in the below first level floor of Mount Moon. That's what I prefer finding it. To get Peashroom, when it comes to Peashroom, you can evolve it into Sportstool at Friendship, or you can find it before before entering the Crow Cave. You can find them in Rock Tunnel as well. Courtress, this had haunted me since the very beginning, ever since I had no clue how to get this mon. As it turns out, after research of trying to figure it out, it seems like this fella evolves It evolves by giving it a metal coat, and there's no other way to get it. As another thing, this is also considered one of my favorite steel types in the game, which I wouldn't mind making a monotype run in this game. Like, that would be kind of fun if I ever do so. But yeah. Mantasm. Okay, Mantasm is a very rare mon to encounter. They can be found also in the Safari Zone as well. However, it's very rare to encounter when surfing in Route 12. Very rare encounter, and it's a ghost type. Meet Fucker. Fucker is a very interesting one. It can be found either in Bond Bridge or Safari Zone, which is the earliest you can encounter this fella. And I was like, I get it. It's like, he's a fighter and a duck. Get it? Fucker. It's like, at this point, it's like, they're just doing this on purpose. Tau Horse? Either you can have the Mon Horde to evolve it with a March Stone, and it could also be found in these areas at Route 14, Mafia Mansion, Waterpath, and Ruined Valley. Yukino can be found in Route 5, 7, 8, Axel Isle, Cope Brink, and Bond Bridge. And these are very interesting. Like Aqua Diva, I expected to be an unknown encounter to find this fella, but she can be found in Cope Brink, Bond Bridge, and Zvault Canyon, but they're very rare encounters, so good luck ever trying to get her. I literally got her just from via by friendship, and no lie, she's actually really good. I recommend trying her out if you're ever going to play the game yourself. She's actually a decent water type mon if you don't have a water type on your team, so she's really good. Pyroshiva is also really good for a fire replacement. And to evolve it into that, you have to give her a Firestone, or it can be found in Kindle Road, which is interesting to say the least. That's where you find it. Mamini, it is an ice type, a normal ice type that can be found either in the Ice Cave of the Safari Zone or the Axel Isle, which is the Ice Cave area. Mamount, it can either you can get it by level 30, or you can find it in Icefall Cave or Victory Road, which in my opinion, it's a second fella that gives off the most experience in the whole game, in my opinion. I've gotten that shiny so many times that you wouldn't understand. Okay, Dub Snake. Okay, let's see, Dub Snake. You can find it, like, before the Crow Cave. You can find them in Rock Tunnel, Safari Zone, Axel Isle, Cope Brink, Four Island, and even Icefall Cave. However, it evolves into Hydroil. It evolves into that at level 37. Is a water fire type, making it very interesting. It can be found either in Axel Isle, Mafia Mansion, Route 21, and even Treasure Beach and all that stuff. Also Treasure Beach? Yeah, Treasure Beach, Inferno Summit, Cope Brink, and Outcast Island. That's where you can find this fella. Okay, Pengi, it can be found in Route 9, Safari Zone, and Axel Isles. And yeah, it is a pure ice type. It looks like a cheerleader in a sort of way. And funny enough, it evolves into that, which is very interesting. But Pachit can be found at Route 20, Axel Isle, and Icefall Cave. Or you could just evolve it at level 22. Capolar, on the other hand, can be found only at Icefall Cave, and it's an ice fighting type, and it fully evolves at level 39. And that's how you evolve it. Wycern is a very interesting one. It is a dragon ice type that can be found in the Ice Cave of the Safari Zone, Axel Isle, and Icefall Cave, and evolves into Bitter Dragon. And it fully evolves at level 40. Can be found in the Ice Cave in the Safari Zone as well. It's a very rare encounter. Axel Isle and Icefall Cave. Vreeskelly, come on. It's literally based off Sands. It's literally called the Megalovania Pokemon for a reason. Like, I bet the moment you just take a look at it, it just screams aura of just going da-da-da-da, like, just pulls off a leitmotif of Megalovania. Like, goddammit. This fella can only appear in Victory Road and in the Revenant Cave, which is a post-game area. Toast Torch is a very interesting one. Can only be found in Vermilion City while surfing. That's pretty much its only location. That's pretty much it. Okay, Garuki can be found in Mount Moon and in Rock Tunnel, and it's a pure rock type. And it evolves into Garble, which is an evolution that you could evolve at level 28, or it can be found in the Axel Isles and Dotted Hole, which is very interesting where you find these fellas. Here we have is Gagaramar. Can evolve at level... It fully evolves into level 40. Or it can be found in the cave in the Infernal Summit, which is in the caves, and even Revenant Cave as well. And can also be found in the Axel Isles. Borcosmos, you can find this fella almost anywhere. And yes, you can encounter really early in the game for being a fire or flying type. And it can be found in Route 22, 7, 14, and 15. You'll probably have a higher level Borcosmos at this point. And it fully evolves at... Like, it fully evolves if you give it a Sunstone. But it can be found at Route 23 and Inferno Summit in the outside. It can be found in these areas, basically. And it fully evolves if you give it a Sunstone, which is understandable. It looks like he's eating a candy. Hehe. Okay. Nebulite. Okay, Nebulite, you can find it in Axel Isle, Route 21, and Icefall Cave. And it fully evolves into Echo Cosmic, which, funny enough, you can also encounter. It seems like it can... It says that it can level up at level 1, so I highly doubt it. So I'm just placing my... I'm just thinking about, like, it evolves around the 20s or 30s. But it can be found in Route 19, 21, and Icefall Cave, and that's where you can find Echo Cosmic. It's literally based off Echo the Dolphin. Sparana... Yeah, this fella is also pretty much everywhere. It can be found in Route 4, 24, 25, 20, 21, and 23. And as for the rest, it's just like what it says here. It shows everything there. You can find this fella almost anywhere. Like, if I wanted to speed this up, I could just skip most of it, so my apologies. Okay, Sealgast. Again, this is another mon that is based off personality, and you can find it in these areas over here. And it is a water ghost type, which, funny enough, the other one is a water ghost type. And that is Carcatlass. Carcatlass and Celagast, they're both based off personality. So it depends, just like what I stated before. Either it could be modest, it could be timid, it could be brave, it could be naughty, whatever. So it evolves at level 28. Okay, Rendalapod. Ooh, this one was pretty rare to encounter. It could be encountered either at Route 10 or in the Cinnabar Islands with a Super Rod, and it's a water-electric type. Okay, Sakastoda, which is a gummy worm, and it can only be found in the Berry Forest. And yes, it's not even considered an evolution, they're all separate. Like Glucklers is a fairy fighting type, so let's go see the other one. This one is Fairy Poison, meanwhile this is Fairy Fighting. Interesting. Is this Fairy Psychic? Amalgam? Yeah, Amalgam, it can be found either at Route 21 or in the Berry Forest, so you can encounter this fella first than the other fellas, so they don't evolve. Tarquail, on the other hand, is a pretty buggy Pokemon when I tried him out and all that stuff, or when fighting it. For some reason, it's very buggy for Tarquail, and it can be found in Mount Moon and even in Victory Road. Moltama is another fire type that I've used in my playthrough because I had no idea that it evolves via by friendship, as I'm gonna get to it right now. Like Moltama can be found in Mount Moon, Fusgel Cave, and even the Inferno Summit. That's the only way you can encounter the fella. I wouldn't recommend getting him at higher level, because it'll take forever to friendship this mon. So I highly recommend to have it as Moltera, just have it on your team as much as possible. And I gotta admit, like, really 7'7". That's very interesting to say the least. Okay, Magumol. Ooh, Magumol is a very good one. It is a ground dragon type that, funny enough, can have Rock Smash at the beginning of the game. Because to get Rock Smash, that's after beating the 7th gym leader, which is unbelievable. So if you have Magumol on your team, he's actually a really good coverage. I remember its stats is also really good, so that's all I gotta say for Magumol. For Magumol, he's very interesting. You can find him super early if you're lucky to find Magumol. To find this fella, it can be found in Mount Moon in the below 2nd floor, which is a very rare encounter, Axel Isle and Victory Road. In Axel Isle and Victory Road, they're a much higher encounter in comparison. Okay, Trickling. Trickling can be found in the Hailstorm area of the Safari Zone, and it is a Dark Fairy type. And it fully evolves into Driclown, or Driclown, I guess. It is 4'7". That's just how tall it is, even though it's like the size of the trainer. It's how big he is. Which is strange. And it fully evolves at level 42. Drotel, on the other hand, can be found at Route 10, 23, Thunderdome, Cinnabar Island, if you have a Super Rod. And yeah, he is a really good mon at the start as well. He is a Dragon Steel type that fully evolves into Zillichina, I think, or Zillichina. I may be wrong about this. A gigantic war machine of a Pokemon. It is truly unknown as to whether Chinchilla is a man-made or natural. That is a good question. But I still think, in my opinion, it's one of those coat mons that is very goated in design. And it is a Dragon Steel type, making him really, really powerful. You fully evolved this fella at level 40, by the way. Ice Hugger, which is literally based off, like, Ridley Scott's Alien. Yeah, Ice Hugger can be found in Route 10 and even on Axel Isle. How quaint. And it is a Ice Poison type. It also evolves into Ice Poison type. Can't find him in the wild, but the only way to evolve it is by giving it a Moonstone. Larvidet, on the other hand, can be it's the same thing as getting the Ice Hugger. And it's a Bug Steel type that you can find at Route 25, 10, and Axel Isle. And to evolve it, you had to give it a Moonstone as well. Emojin, the Joyous Pokemon. This can be found in the Safari Zone or the area where Palatown is, like around, I believe this is Route 23, I believe? No, that's Route 21. Or you could trade a Tarquail in Cinnabar Island for an Emojin, so that's really cool. Okay, Beardusse can be only found in the Sandstorm area, which is in the Safari Zone, of course, which is right there. It evolves into Kumataro with a Sunstone, and it could also be found at Route 23, which is very interesting. It's so interesting, in fact, that he even has his own little menacing sound effects sprite with it, which is really cool. Okay, Ouroboros is literally based off the Ouroboros snake. This is the area where you can find it, which is Route 25, 8, 21, Mount Moon, which is before the Crow Cave, the Lavender Town, Safari Zone, and Treasure Beach. And to evolve it into Reveloros, you can evolve it into a Moonstone, or you can find a Treasure Beach or at Route 23, and they're both considered normal Psychic types. Okay, Venereal can be found in Lavender Town and even the Hailstorm area of Safari Zone, and that's the only way you can get this fella. It's a Dark Psychic type, by the way. Apocomise, well, he can only be found in the Revenant Cave, and that's the only time you can actually ever find Apocomise. Apocomise is a very interesting one, though, that's for sure, and it evolves if you give it a Moonstone. Ain't that neat? Okay, Jaromite. Ooh, I remember a buddy of mine told me that this mod is actually goated. It is a Water Dragon type that you can find in the wild at Route 25, 13, 16, 21, and Safari Zone. It evolves into Serpentine at level 21, but it can also be found in the Safari Zone as well. And as well as the other areas as well, which is Route 25 and 13. And to get the full evolution, this fella, Samani, Serpentine and then Samani, it fully evolves if you get a Water Stone. It's pretty much a better version than than the other one, which is Harshogun. Yeah, this is 1,000 times better because it is a Water Dragon rather than Water Normal. Okay, Skitstarf. Okay, a Split Mind Pokemon. This fella can be found in Lavender Town, Route 23, and even in the Berry Forest, just based off the color, and I have got the shiny of this fella before. Corkenmark can only be found while surfing at Route 20 and 23, and it is a pure water type, even though I expected a psychic water type, though. Okay, Epilate. This is another thing as well. I expected it to be a fire psychic type, but apparently it's considered a fire type, and some people said it is a triple question mark for some reason. However, the only way you can get this fella is exactly what it says, outside of Infernal Summit. I love it here. Noxilium can be found either in the Revenant Cave or in the Pokemon Tower, and it is a Mola gay Pokemon, that's funny. It can be found in the Ghost Flying type. It is a Ghost Flying type that can be found in those areas. Jol can only be found in the cave, basically. The something Jol Cave. What was it called again? Fuss Jol's Cave. And there's a possibility you can even find its evolution, also in Fuss Jol's Cave, and also in Inferno Summit. And it evolves at level 33 if you're ever going to get it normally. Indignifly. I kind of forgot this Pokemon even existed. It can be found in the back area of Weedle Forest, Route 21, or you could trade a guy with a Tarantagon in Cinnabar Island and just trade him just like that. There's like 3 traders. Dynamite's the almighty Pokemon. Okay, this is another mon that I consider very interesting. Either you can get it as a fossil, or you can actually find it in the Revenant Cave. It's based off your choice, and you can get it off the Feather Fossil, which I consider very interesting. It's talking to a guy and you get it from a Feather Fossil, or you can get it at post-game, so it's whichever. And it evolves into Kakin, the chicken. And funny enough, we'll get to its evolution and I will show you as well. I will make a video to show you how to get them, or I can just show it right now and just show you of how to get them and all that stuff, and there you go. And just right there. That's how you get it. Okay. Primitive, it is a rock steel type that can only be found in the Revenant Cave. However, I believe if you find an old diamond, you can actually get this fella. And no lie, yeah, this fella, I must say, like, to get, you could either give it an old diamond, or just go, to go to the Future Museum, or you can encounter in the Revenant Cave. So that's the only way to get it. So yeah. Okay, TikTok, and no, not the website. Or just the social media in general, and I was like, I cringe every time I think about it. I know some people think differently when it comes to TikTok, it's like good for you. But yeah, but anyways, enough of that topic. TikTok, again, it's also another fossil mon that you can just use a Sting fossil that you can get in Mount Moon, or you can find it in Revenant Cave. And it fully evolves into Stingulor, which evolves at level 30. Okay, Titan Needle can only be found in the Revenant Cave, and the only way to get this mon is in Revenant Cave. Meet Moyolith. Moyolith, it's pretty much the Snorlax of this game, and it is a static encounter on Route 12 and Route 16. Those are the only way that you can get those mons, and once they're gone, they're pretty much gone forever at this point. Wahoo. Oh yeah, Wahoo. I've always wanted to use this mon, but unfortunately, since this game is pretty bugged, which... Please, for the love of God, Pokemon Cope devs, please fix this game. I really want an update to this game because this game is awesome. But it's because the game did, like, according to it, it's like it disrespects you. So they should fix this issue. According to this, is that you can either get it in the canyon entrance, or you get it from an egg in the Water Labyrinth, which it doesn't benefit anything. Like, it doesn't work at all in this game, because, as I said before, breeding pretty much crashes the game. Long story short, it does crash the game. And ain't this a familiar specimen? Ribizap. Yeah, Ribizap can be found in Route 10, 16, 17, 18, and the Thunderdome. And its evolution, which is Bulbfrog, evolves with a Water Stone. There's no other way to get it, but it's an electric water type when it fully evolves. And here we have is another classic Pokemon Clovermon. You find this fella in the Safari Zone and Route 4, and his name is Spank. Or Spank? I don't know. It evolves into Anaconduke. Also can be found in the Safari Zone, but also can be found in the Victory Road as well. And even in Route 12? Either that's Route 12 or Route 13, I believe. That's how you get Anaconduke. Oh no, it's Route 14. Yeah, it's Victory Road, Safari Zone, and Route 14. or you could just evolve Anaconduke at level 28. So that's pretty neat. To evolve into Balboa, there's no other way to get him. The only way to get him is by giving him a marked stone. Which again, I will be showing off the video right now if I'm going to be post-editing while doing so. So yeah. Smolgarobin. You can find this fella at these areas, 8, 11 of routes, and Safari Zone. It evolves into Smolgars if you give it a dragon scale, and you cannot find it. You cannot find it anywhere. Dragon scales, to get them, it's, as I said before, they can be found in the Saladon City Mall or whatever, the market. That's the only way to get it. Smoxilon. Yeah, this fella can only be found in one area, and it's in the Vermilion City for some odd reason. I believe they can only be found in the water. Correct me if I'm wrong. Honraid. Another... Pretty much, it's another Clovermon. And it can only be found in these areas, in the Victory Road and in Route 23. And it can evolve into Devante or Virgilian, which is, come on. It's obvious that it's literally based off Dante and Virgil. Yeah, like, it's like they're not even hiding it. And they're actually really good, though. Devante and Virgilian, they're really good. This guy evolves with a Sunstone. It is a fighting fairy type, and the other one, I believe it's fighting dark, yeah. One is fighting dark, the other one is fighting fairy, and so is Onraid. It's also fighting fairy. Well, ain't that neat? Pingus. This is a very goofy fella. It can be found either in the Icewall Cave or in the Hale area where the Safari Zone really is. A Wingus, it evolves if you give him the Malice Pills. And yeah, you had to get... It's like, you gotta remember to buy a decent amount if you want to get it from a specific mon if you want to use it. Because when I used this mon on my team, he was really good because he had the ability Refrigerate. And yeah, it did a lot of damage because of Stab Boom Burst. And Boom Burst is broken. Yeah, Ankira, to find this fella, it's in the Safari Zone, Dotted Hole, and the Savalt Canyon. And as for the rest, the only way to get it, just from leveling up in general, you get it from level 30 and level 55 when it fully evolves, and its name is Ankura and Ankpu. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that it's pretty late into the game at this point to evolve this fella by now. So just to go back, yeah, just to make sure, this is a ground psychic type for people. This is a steel type, which I believe it becomes a steel fighting type, I believe. But yeah, Squiffy, yeah, you can find it in the Hailstorm area of the Safari Zone. Evolves into Go Blazer, also found in the Safari Zone. And funny enough, it could also be found in other areas as well, which is interesting. It's found in the Water Path and even in Rune Valley, which is very interesting. Or you could just level it up to level 30. It fully evolves into Wargork as a steel fairy type, which is very interesting. I expected it to be pure steel, but I would assume due to the coloring. Okay, Weedle. Yeah, the pathetic Pokemon. Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. Oh, Weedle, speaking about Eevee, this is also pretty much the Eevee of this game. Weedle is just literally the Eevee of the game in a sort of way. Weedle can be found in Viridian City, Weedle Forest, Pokemon Tower, Victory Road, and Pattern Bush. However, this mon has evolutions. It can evolve into Wawawiwi. There's two ways of getting it. Either you can evolve it with a Water Stone, and just go to the Weedle, or just find it in the Weedle Forest as a rare encounter. Seedle evolves it by Wawawiwi with a Water Stone, a Fire Stone for Heedle, and a Leaf Stone for Treadle. But let me go on. This is a Fire Fighting type, this is a Water Ice type, and the other one is, I believe it's a Grass Ground type. Yeah, it's a Grass Ground type. So they pretty much balance everything out. Wawawiwi, I believe it's a pure Water type, yeah. Because Weedle is a pure, Bug type, was it? Was it a pure Bug type? No, Bug Poison. So let's just say Bug Poison, Water, Water Ice, Fire Fighting, and Grass Ground. To evolve this fella into Squeedle is by high friendship, or do you just find it the Weedle Force, which comes with the choice specs. Yeah, there's some that comes with choice specs, which is insane. Oblivion, the only way to get Oblivion, it's either there in Island 1 in the Infernal Peak or whatever, or you could just evolve it at level 66. It seems like you can find it in, either outside the Infernal Path or just inside like the volcanic area. That's how you get Oblivion. Okay, Spiritle, it's by giving it Malice Pills. That's the only way to get it, and it's a Poison Ghost type. I believe this one is Pure Dark. Yeah, Pure Dark type. Poison Ghost is a very interesting combination. Doleedle is a Poison Electric type. And you evolve it by giving it a Metal Coat. Tushinoko can only be found... It can be found in Three Isle Port, which is a post-game grass patch, which is probably very rare, but don't even bother. But it is found in Cope Cave in the Outcast Island as a static encounter. And this is the real Tushinoko, which is basically, apparently it's not even an evolution. This is just the insulated form, which it also can be found in the grass patch in the post game. It's in the Green Isle Port. A Sparmore can be found in Route 10 and is a pure electric type. It evolves into Armadillo. Cannot be found. However, it evolves at level 25. And Columbolt, it becomes an electric fighting type, which is very goated, by the way. And I love it has the slacking foot. It is an electric fighting type that it fully evolves with a Thunderstone. Snarl. I haven't played Miitopia in years, and I'm very happy just seeing Miitopia stuff related, because I really want to play that game so badly. But yeah, Snarl can be found in Route 24, and even in the starting area of the Safari Zone or in Treasure Beach, which is fitting, honestly, for this little fella. He's actually not bad, too. He's actually really good. Like, damn good. So yeah, it can be found in Treasure Beach, the starting area of Safari Zone, and Route 24. So that's very neat. And even in the other area as well, that is in the 7th Island. So that's really cool. It evolves into Snooroil. At level 58 is when you evolve Snarl into Snooroil. It was always been my Paydaemon, and it's really good. Again, can also be found in Treasure Beach, but it also can be found in Cope Cave as well. Again, it's a very rare encounter when it comes to that, if you're lucky to encounter it. Okay, Buggy, to find this fella, it's in Route 6, 11, and 7. Yeah, they separated the 6 and the 7, ha ha ha. However, it does evolve at level 32, and you find this fella in the Weedle Forest back area. Geomortis, Sephiroth. To evolve this fella is either you find it in the Lost Cave. However, you could just evolve it by just giving it a, Actually, it doesn't evolve by giving it a stone. It evolves normally. At level 49 is when it evolves. Which is very interesting. And here comes the other evolution for Dubsnake. It's Coil Spoil. This is what happens when you give it a Firestone, and it's given the ability of Ice Poison, because the other one was Fire and Water, which is interesting. To evolve it is by giving it a Firestone, and it's in Axel Isle and Icefall Cave is where you can find these fellas as well. Yeah, that's pretty fitting. This is literally a joke to the ROM hack community, because the joke is that the only way that you can play the ROM hacks is by using a way to play ROM hacks is by the name of Squirrels for Fire Red, and that's why it's called Fire Red. Which is found in Route 1, which, hilariously enough, it's a 1% encounter to find in Route 1. So you can encounter really early if you're lucky, or you don't have the patience and just play through the game like normal and find them post-game instead of the canyon entrance. So they can be found there too. Neptunian, is it a bird? Is it a hat? Nobody knows. It's probably a bird hat. So yeah, it can be found in the Safari Zone in the Sandstorm area or the Cope Cave. However, it evolves... However, it doesn't even evolve into that, believe it or not. Which is rather strange. I'd expected they evolve it into that. I still think it probably evolves by leveling up. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So let me know about that. So you can find it in the Sandstorm area, in the Safari Zone, and even in Cope Cave as well. So yeah, you can find both of these fellas. Yeah, Skid Seal. Yeah, this is also another electric type that people love to use as well for people who made playthroughs of this game, or did playthroughs. It is an electric dark type that it evolves into Skitsuo. Skitsuo evolves at level 24, or it can be found in the Vermilion City or Route 11. Yeah, whichever of the two. And Skitsergon, it fully evolves... I pretty much might as well call this thing Venom. I mean, just by design, it reminds me of it. It looks really cursed, too. But I do gotta say, Skitsergon, to evolve it, you have to give it the Malice Pills. That's the only way you can get it. Okay, Molchkin is the Mulch Pokemon that you can only find it in Route 8. It's a Ground Fairy type, and that's pretty much it. Stopogriff. Yeah, this fella can appear in the second floor of Cope Cave, and even in the Safari Zone starting area, and it's a flying normal type. And yes, this is the joke about they mentioned about stop talking about Among Us. Yeah, it's based off that. And speaking about Among Us, we got more. The Impostry. There's many ways to get the Impostry. Either a static encounter in the starting area of the Safari Zone, or in the Cope Cave. That's where you can find it. Gyonen, on the other hand, can only be found... It can only be found using the old rod. And that's the only way if you're gonna find this fella in Treasure Beach. Okay, Purette is a very interesting one. Purette can only be found in the east side of Kindle Road. It may show it's only can be found in Kindle Road, but if there... However... There is a certain rock area that you pass through, and you can actually just go through there, and all of a sudden you're in a different area, and they call it Chile, and I was like, I wonder why. It could either be fished out, or you could just go there by surfing. That's the only way you can find Purettes in that area, and you can only find Purettes in that area. Seaman. Yeah, these are the areas that you can find Seaman. It is a pure water type, found in these said locations. However, you could get it really early by talking to a guy before entering Mount Moon in the Pokemon Center with 500 Pokédollars if you can just buy it. As it turns out, he actually becomes a behemoth when it evolves as well, which is Barabas. And to evolve it into Barabas is by evolving it at level 48. Or you can find him in the Trainer Tower, whichever, it's whatever goes. Bolsapex, I don't know how to pronounce that, so again, as I said before, my apologies if I, butchered the name. It can only be found in Treasure Beach, and it doesn't even have an evolution, and it is considered a water fighting type. And I was like, fascinating. Ooh, Lobber is a very interesting evolution line. You can find them at Route 12, 13, and Bond Bridge. However, it evolves into Clobber, which is a water dragon type, or dragon water. The other one is considered water dragon, and then they just invert that. I don't know why they did that, but it is what it is. It evolves at level 44, which can also be found in Route 12 and Bond Bridge, but they're very rare encounters, so good luck ever trying to get that, in case you're wondering. Velvernine can only be found up here in the Infernal Summits. That's the only way to find it, and I believe it's an uncommon encounter or a very rare encounter. It depends. I don't remember. Okay. Vabrinal? I don't know how to pronounce it, but all I know for sure, it can be found in Route 13. However, it evolves at level 22. Or you can find it at Bond Bridge, but it's a very rare encounter to find it, but you'd much rather just evolve it at this point. And then it fully evolves into Gurtenity. And yes, you cannot find it anywhere. To evolve it, it is a grass-water type, so... Is this also... Yeah, they're all considered a grass-water type in general. So yeah, to get this fella, you have to give it a leaf stone so it can fully evolve. Oh my god, it's the last airbender. or the last Hollow Knight. I mean, design-wise, it reminds me of Hollow Knight. To get Arctic Globe, you can find it either in the Ice Cave of Safari Zone, Axel Isle, and even Icefall Cave. So yeah, that's how you get it. Arctic Gleam, I believe you just give it a Firestone. Yeah, you give it a Firestone, and it's free! I have gotten the shiny of it before as well. Erguite, you can either find it in Route 12, 13, 21, Pallet Town, One Island, and even Treasure Beach and so forth, and even Kindle Road and Bomb Bridge. However, you can also get in the casino in Celadon for 500 coins. It evolves at level 26, but they're also pretty common as well, as you can see right here. So, there's not much to say, really. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, Vertuda. Vertuda, if you don't feel like friendshipping Spore Stool, like you could just give it a Firestone and that's how it evolves. Or you can find it outside the Inferno Summit or in the Pokemon Tower, so ain't that neat. And it's a fairy fire type. Yeah, it's a fairy fire type. Awesome. Colfear can only be found in the Hail area in the Safari Zone. And I hate to say this, I'd much rather use I'd rather use Frozeweed more than Colfear, whatever you pronounce this tree mon. I much rather prefer that. Okay, Meower. You find this fella at Route 22, 24. So it's 4, 25, and 6. So is Viridian City and Cerulean City and even the Safari Zone. And yeah, you can get it by surfing. And it evolves into Catashin? It's literally based off, yeah, and it's literally based off Fear and Hunger, in case if you're wondering. I've always wanted to try that game out. It's literally just a game of horror, based off your wild imagination. I wouldn't recommend it if you're younger. I would not recommend playing that game. That game is literally nothing but gamble. It's based off Pocket Cat from Fear and Hunger, though. And to evolve it into this fella, you had to give it a Moonstone. And I was like, even I did ponder to myself, since if it's based off Pocket Cat, I would assume it evolves with a Moonstone, until I realized, hey, it does. Your Norm can be only found in Route 14, 15, or you can trade somebody a Conkoff in Vermilion City to get this mon. Yankoon, it evolves at level 20, or it can be found in the canyon entrance, and it's a bug dark type. And Yantur, yeah, it just tells you to frick off. Yeah, Yantur, it's very funny, it has its own, like it even has the thing as well, which I find it hilarious. The only way to get this mon is by leveling up your Yankoon up to level 45. Okay, Kiwik and Iwik, believe it or not, they both evolve. Hilariously enough, it evolves, which is kind of interesting. I expected like they combined together. But this fella, Kiwi, this fella can only be found in the Viridian City. Meanwhile, the other one can be found in Route 14 and 15 of that said area. And you can evolve it into Kiwi at level 20. That's how you get it. Rastord is another mon that is a very rare encounter. It can be found in the Safari Zone and also in the Canyon Entrance, which is a post-game area, and even the Weedle Forest in the back area. Itsuriri can also be found in the Safari Zone. Mutant, okay. Mutants can be found in the Thunderdome, the 5 Isle Meadow, and the Memorial Pillar. That's where you can find this fella. Garost can be found only in the Pokemon Tower, and it's a Ghost Dark type, which is very beneficial. Okay, Monacat is a very special mon. It is a Ghost Fairy type, so it can be found in the Pokemon Tower or in the Cope Cave. So yeah, it's a very rare encounter. Okay, Ganglethon can also be found in the Pokemon Tower, and believe it or not, also in Bond Bridge, which is interesting. Oh god, this thing. Looks like somebody wasn't even ready yet in general. Yeah, Slub, to evolve this fella, you had to evolve a Flubster by giving it Malice Pills. That's the only way it could evolve. Oh my goodness, here is another one that is also a pain for people who want to get different types of mons for this fella. Meet Albergrab. This is also another quote-unquote to my Eevee, basically. Like, to my evolutions, anyways. Albergrab can only be found in the Cope Cave or being gifted in the Celadon City. So yeah, it can only be found in one area. However, their other evolutions, good luck, because yeah, it's very funny. Alberchamp is a much higher encounter compared to Albergrab. Alberchamp can be found at Waterpath and Rune Valley, or you could evolve it by using Albergrab at level 35. To evolve into Albermax, you have to level it up at level 50. If you want to have it as Alberfect, you have to use Alberchamp. However, you have to use it with the Alberray. Alberfly, you need to use Albergrab by turning it into the Alberfly by using the Alberray. And Alberaf is using Alberfly to fully evolve at level 60. Do you see what I mean here? This is very confusing, but I'll try the best I can when it comes to editor me do the work of showing you how to evolve them. But just to put it slowly, here you have his Albergrab, then you have his Alberchamp, which it evolves at level 35, and then Albermax is level 50. However, you go back to Alberchamp, it evolves into Alberfect using the Alberray, if you want to choose that option. Or you could use Albergrab, evolve it into Alberfly by using the Alberray, so it could evolve into level 60 into Alberaf, which you're looking at right now. It's like, does that make any sense? I don't know. Hookling. Yeah, this reminds me of a Mother 3 Chimera, just from design alone. The Hookling, it is a dragon type. Oh yeah, let me go back to what I was talking about with these fellas. I haven't even showed you how, what is, Okay, this is a dragon type. This fella becomes a dragon poison type, which is interesting. Alberfect becomes dragon fighting. Alberfly turns into bug flying, and Alberap becomes pure flying. Don't know how that makes sense, but here we are. Hookling can only be found in the Viridian City, and it's a pure dragon type. It evolves into, Fractivern, which is kind of weird because it is a psychic electric type. It fully evolves at level 36, by the way. Okay, Sphere can be found at the Safari Zone in the Sandstorm area, and it fully evolves into Coast Strike if you give it a mark to stone. And no, you cannot find it anywhere, this Arahabaki looking fella. And yes, this is literally based off the meme of Arahabaki. I would have mentioned about it is said in Legends that any attempt to physically strike it is completely reflected back. Literally, it's a Arahabaki reference from SMT. But yeah, they can only be found there. It's very funny, he becomes from rock fighting to rock's ghost, which is interesting. Here we have his Pantherk. Pantherk being Pantherk. This fella is a fighting steel type. It's very funny, he looks quite jacked up there. Meanwhile, he looks like this. I don't know if they're ever going to update his design, or maybe he's perfect the way it is, who knows. Well, Panther can be found in Route 17, 18, and in the second floor of Cope Cave. So yeah, he's very special. Pondercillo, I remember it was based off of an animator that involves with a character that involves juggling balls as like test run as the animation. I forgot the name of that said person. So yeah, this is Pondercillo. It is a psychic steel type, which is very interesting. Sicklegraw, this mon can only be found in one area and one area only, which is in the Infernal Summit. However, you can encounter it in the Rock Tunnel. But fair warning, if you ever gotta get it, try and find a way to put it to sleep or try and capture it as best as you can. Because this guy can run away, and you will never, ever see this guy until post-game. Until you find him as a rare encounter. Since I'm a big Mega Man fan, I actually know this reference. It's based off Lumine from Mega Man X8. And I've played X8. I thought the game was fun. But anyways, Lumini, on the other hand, it becomes a Steel Fairy to Steel Dark for some reason. Or Dark Steel, my bad. And yeah, it's based off the second form of Lumine, and evolved. And as I said before, it evolves by giving it a Malice Pills as well. It also evolves with Malice Pills. Weather Vane can only be found in the Infernal Summit. Very rare to encounter, by the way. It's a very rare encounter, Weather Vane, and it is a steel fighting type for some reason. Because the other one was a steel flying type. Okay. According to this, Junkbane can be found almost anywhere that you see in the map right here. It's a steel ghost type. And they're very rare to cross by, and they can also be found only on Super Rods, but it's a very, very rare encounter when you encounter it, though. So best of luck for the people who ever gonna get Junkbane yourself. Fuyukaza is a flying fighting type that you can find him in the Safari Zone. No, that's pretty much it. I heard he's actually really good. Raidenetti, it is a fighting steel type. I totally wish Sonanos was in this game, so it could be, like, a rival against each other. But no, this fella can be found in the Thunderdome, by the way. Parmigian, which is based off, like, Parmesan cheese. Parmigian can be found at Route 7, 5, Bond Bridge, and even Savalt's Canyon. Okay, there's one that is Jumbolart and Jumblegore. So, Jumbolart, on the other hand, these guys can only be found in Treasure Beach and Route 10. Meanwhile, the other one, it's a very rare encounter at Route 19, and that's where you can get it. Unfortunately, these Mons, on the other hand, they're not even evolutions, they're separate Mons. Okay, Ointmite can be found in the Infernal Summit in the caves, or in the second floor of the Cope Cave and the Savalt's Canyon, as shown here. And it fully evolves into Ointmite, and I love how it's like, it just shows Donphan, because you could tell that the ROM hackers didn't have enough time when working on this, but best of luck to them if they ever gonna come back to it. And also give them resprites as well. It helps out a lot. Okay, Gun Kirby is very funny. To get Gun Kirby, you can find it as a very rare encounter in the Thunderdome, or in the Savalt Canyon. So, yeah, and funny enough, it's quite fitting they could be found there, because they actually have the Kirby 64 soundtrack over there, which is the one that is based off, like, Planet Earth in a sort of way. To get Gem, this is where you can find Gem. They can be found in the Lost Cave or in the Dotted Hole. However, the evolution, Azumarites, can be found in the Icefall Cave, which is a very rare encounter, and same with Lost Cave. And you can... And it says they're hunt in rooms with items for better chance, perhaps. But it's only in those areas that can be found, but they're very rare. And believe it or not, they're not even evolutions. They're separate evolutions. Like, they're separate Mons in general. Meteoric kind of haunt me a little bit, mostly because for a rock fairy type, oh boy, this guy is a very rare encounter, and he can be found in the Icefall Cave, as shown here. Okay. Epiphyrier. Epiphyrier? Yeah, it's a rare woodland Pokemon. It sits alone as it mutters into the wind, speaking of its dark premonitions? Premonitions, I don't know. Well, all I know for sure, this guy can be found in the Berry Forest, but he's very rare to find, so yeah. Okay, Sleepsea can be found in the... It can be found in Lavender Town. It is a Psychic Dark type, but it's very rare to find. And it fully evolves into Psychiend, which unfortunately you cannot, like, find in the wild. You have to evolve it naturally at level 40. And here's the Horsemon we've been waiting for. Hor. This one, it's the same thing with Huanqi. They're almost anywhere in the Safari Zone and all that stuff. But there's two ways of getting it. Either in the west area of Safari Zone, or you could trade a Toastort on Route 5 for this Mon. Because you can do whatever you want with it, because this fella evolves into Horsiwa if you give it a Sunstone. Or you can find it in Rock Tunnel, Lost Cave, Water Path, and Ruined Valley, so you don't gotta worry about that. This abomination, on the other hand, first of all, this is a reference, again, this is also a reference to Fear and Hunger, and even the music when it plays, I go, brrr. But yeah, End Delusion, it is a normal psychic type that you have to give it Malice Pills so you can get this Mon. Horse Tuba is a very interesting one. It's by giving a Doomterm Malice Pills, and it evolves into a Steel Normal type, and it evolves into that. Pope Cap can only be found in the Icefall Cave in the Cracked Ice Room. But it's a very rare encounter, so best of luck for people who ever want to get this mon as well, if they want to. Okay, Shroomlets. Shroomlets can be found in Lavender Town or in Route 21, and it doesn't even have an evolution whatsoever. Same with Frostbellum. It can be found in the Ice Cave and Axel Isle, and it's considered a nice psychic type. Ain't that quaint. Okay. Arcrigid. This is a fighting steel type that can only be found in post-game in the Savalt Canyon or in the, apparently, even in the second floor of Cope Cave. So yeah, sometimes this game is kind of misleading to the player. So yeah. Goji Fiend can be found in the Safari Zone, believe it or not, but however, it could also be found in Cinnabar Island, which is in the water, Route 21, and in the Trader Tower. They can only be found in the water, and it is a dragon normal type that is a special attacker. I mean, look how happy this little goober is. Oh, Janine. I love how it's called a Paldea Pokemon, because the whole joke is that they combine every single Gen 9 mon possible and make it into a Pokemon, and there you go. If I ever want to draw that, I need to figure out how can I make this work. That's the thing. Because some is based off the starters, some is based off something else, etc, etc. I am wondering about the legs and the tail. So I really needed to figure out myself if I ever want to draw that out. If I ever want to make an illustration on that. However, anyways, they can be found in the Safari Zone, but it's a very, very rare encounter. It's a 1% encounter. However, you can trade a guy a Beardase on Route 11 if you want to get it, which I did before. Unknown King, this was done from a Hypno quest line, and that's the only way to get him. If you don't get him, he's gone. I'm sorry, but you're cooked if you don't have him. Okay, Small. It is a fighting flying type that can only be found in the Infernal Summit, which is a very rare encounter, or in the Cope Cave. Those are the only areas you can find him at. Okay, Climage can only be found in the... It's found in the Safari Zone, but it's more common in the Hailstorm, or in the Canyon entrance. For a normal ghost type, I believe this is the cast form of the game. Okay, Classoscope. This is, believe it or not, this is the second ever question mark type, in case if you're wondering. It doesn't even have a typing, it's just triple question mark. Making this mon very unique, actually. It can only be found in the Infernal Summit Caves, and you can encounter it in a higher level, too. Meaning you would have had the mon already at the highest level already. It can be found in Cope Cave and even in the Infernal Summit at high levels, which is amazing. And then it evolves into this, Ascension, which is, again, but cannot be found anywhere. It evolves at level 24, which I feel is very small. And it fully evolves into pretty much, by the looks of it, one of the most powerful pseudo-legendaries ever, which is Termagnius. Termagnius? Yeah, Termagnius. So yeah, this fella fully evolves at, yeah, look at that, 25 feet. This thing is literally Godzilla tier size, slightly. Well, not really, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's Godzilla is 1,000 times bigger than this fella, but you get the idea. Walkie-talkie, hilariously enough, it's literally just a sunflower's head with some parts related to plants. I don't know why it's called walkie-talkie. It does remain a mystery, I must admit. Even it questions itself why it even exists. For a dragon grass type, walkie-talkie can be found in the back area of Weedle Forest or in the Cope Cave. Those are the only way you can find it. Okay, this is Dugwalker, which is basically, believe it or not, spoiler alert, I mean, you probably seen my video that I did on Pokemon Cope when I was fighting the champion, which is based off Nostalgia Critic. This is literally also based off Nostalgia Critic if he was one of those skinwalkers. He can only be found in Revenant Cave if you go in the deepest depths of it, and he's very, very rare to encounter, and he has Arena Trap. So, be careful. Regicide, there's two ways to get Regicide. Either, because I already got Regicide before, because Regicide, you get this fella in the Tanobi Ruins in the easternmost chamber of that said area, or you can find it as a roamer at random. Unfortunately, I cannot get, like, any other mon as well, so as of right now, to get Regicide, you could just find him in the easternmost chamber. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, Glacian can only be found... Again, they're like static encounters. This fella can be... It's an ice bug type that can be found in the Axel Isle. Galvadux can be found in the Thunderdome and is a electric bug type. A fire bug type that you can find him there in the Infernal Summit. Okay, Deoxys, it's based off Deoxys, basically. It's the same way to get Deoxys originally. And yeah, it is a static encounter in Birth Island, which you had to find a ticket where Krakow Slider stood in his gym, which is the 8th gym leader, spoilers. So that's how you get Deoxys, and he is at level 30. Purple Goat, you had to earn your worthy if you want to get this mon. Yes, it's literally based off Purple Guy, from the infamous game Five Nights at Freddy's. To get him, you had to fight Baphomet himself. In other words, after you beat his team, you pass him, and he's just a static encounter in Lavender Town, just hiding in there. So, for people who want to get Purple Goat, best of luck to ya. Crowlord, this is another problem. This is another quote-unquote legendary. This is another legendary that I feel like, it needs some things to do. Which is basically, do not kill it, because this is the only way you can get this mon. So in other words, this is basically another legendary. And yeah, his name is Crowlord. It is a normal flying type. What about the other one, Purple Goat? He's a normal ghost type. Deoxys, Psychic Steel type. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, Psychic Steel type is Deoxys. Purple Goat is normal ghost type. Crowlord is normal flying, and there's no other way to get him. That's the only way if you want to get him. Crowlord, yeah, you can find him in Rock Tunnel if you enter the one that is called Crow Cave, which is in the western part of the area before getting out to get to Lavender Town. That's the only way if you want to find him. And I love how it's a reference of, oh Lord, teach Pokemon. The Fear and Hunger Pokemon. Granddad! I'm sorry, Grandin. Grandin can be found only in Cope Cave in the first floor, which is very rare to encounter. Okay, Small Ogre. By the way, this is a fucking liar. In case if you're wondering, this thing is a liar, because Area Unknown, it means it's like, they cannot be found. But as it turns out, you can find them. Because they're just playing tricks with you. Small Ogre can be found in the second floor of Cope Cave, but it's very rare to encounter, and I have gotten them on as well. Same with Bequaza. Bequaza is also a very rare encounter. It is a Dragon Grass type, meanwhile the other one is Ice type, and this one is Pure Rock type. Okay, Ranru. It is a static encounter that you find in Naval Rock. Again, once the Tuchi Nugget from the Nugget Cave, from a man, they give you a ticket, and that's the only way you can get it. And it's really big. This fella is really huge. He's really tall. This fella is very small. Well, he's still tall, like 6'3", like, come on. Ignifatu, it's the same thing of getting the bug fire type. It's also in the Infernal Summit, but you need to get the Crow Key, which is, you know, getting it from Lavender Town or whatever. That's where you get the Crow Key, which is after capturing Crowlord, I believe. That's how you get the Crow Key. So you can open the door from that locked door, and that's how you get them on. It's there as a static encounter. To get Empide, she can be found in the back area of Weedle Forest as a static encounter because she is another legendary. Chinomiru can be found in the Icefall Cave, but she is an Ice Fairy type. Oh yeah, let me mention about Empide real quick. Empide, it is a normal bug type, which, funny enough, I legitimately loved her design, so that's why I drew her as well, just for funsies, because I like her design. It looks really cool. The Forest. This is the only fella that only appears in the pattern bush if you use Cut, which is an infinite respawn, by the way, so there's a chance you keep getting this mon over and over and over again. But fair warning, the catch rate is pretty annoying, so best of luck to you if you ever go capture this mon in general. Forgotno, which is garbage data, I have found him in the Cinnabar Islands, and yes, they can be found in the water or by fishing, I believe. Or you can find it in the Revenant Cave, and it can be on all levels, by the way, which is insane, by the way. Mechanism is a very interesting one. It can only be found in the Revenant Cave. God damn, this thing's huge. 32.6. God damn, this thing is a whole ass generator, basically. But yeah, Mechanism can only be found in below first floor, but it's a very rare encounter. Like, it's a rare encounter in general. Doomsday, on the other hand, is also rare. It can be found in below first floor. Is a ghost psychic type. Meanwhile, this is a psychic steel type? Yes, psychic steel. Forgot, no, it's unknown and steel type. So meaning it's only weak to... It is just a steel type, but just weak to basically steel type stuff. Because when you have triple question mark, you don't even have weaknesses. So at this point, you're just a pure steel type at the end of the day, out of all things. And Doomsday. Doomsday is basically the Mewtwo of this game, and I love how it shows the missing number on this thing. So yeah, Doomsday is pretty much the Mewtwo of this game. And the last one is a Placehold. A Placehold is just unknown in a nutshell. And yeah, that's pretty much all the mons in the whole game. That's pretty much all of it, and it shows every single one of them. So yeah. I hope this video will help you out to give you an idea for reference from my words. But don't worry, Editor Me will mostly just gonna take care of mostly those editings in general. But first, I'm going to show you how to, there's extra mons on my PC as well. So, here we have is Hemogoblin. It is pretty much a fairy fire type that comes with a scale, and to get Hemogoblin, you need to fight an NPC, and once you beat her, she can give you one of her mons, and Hemogoblin is one of them. And they're not analyzing the dex, so it's considered Pokédex number 410. Cockadoom, on the other hand, to get Cockadoom, it is a triple question mark dragon type. And to get Cockadoom is by evolving a Cockin at level 60. To get Horse, it's a normal ground type, actually. Never mind. It's a normal ground type that fully evolves at level 60, but I always needed to be careful because it might evolve to another mon, so that's why I've been giving it a lucky egg and all that stuff. That's pretty much what it's like using, Horse in general. Horse is just a very interesting mon. This is literally just a meme, basically. And Spamnut, and you thought, Toby Fox wasn't even in this game when it comes to stuff like this. He's a modest nature, which is actually really good for him, honestly. I did got lucky when it comes to getting him. He is an electric fairy type. Yeah, he's an electric fairy type. And as well, he is also high level as well. He is Pokédex number 387. So yeah, he should have been 387 because we could have gotten more. But yeah, these are all the possible mons I can get in this game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And to get them, like Cockadoom, as I said before, it evolves at level 60 into Cockadoom. Horse is at level 70 by using Whore. And Spamnut, the only way to get Spamnut is from a static encounter if you find the secret passage, which is in the north of the Thunderdome. It's right there in the north of Thunderdome. If it doesn't work, maybe I just got lucky getting this mon in the first place. So overall, yeah, that's pretty much how you get every single Pokemon in Pokemon Cope from experience, and it will give you an idea of how to get these mons in the first place. So for people who stick by for so long, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys can leave a comment and even subscribe just to help out when it comes to stuff like this. But overall, if you have any questions when it comes to certain mons that I don't even know where to find them, please do let me know about this one. So for surely, as for the videos, I will show you where to find their pinpoint locations as much as I can. Yeah, I'll make it as a separate video so it can be part of the editing process as well. And I will update to you guys on that. So the best thing I can say is thank you so much for watching for who knows how long. It's been almost 2 hours just for me yapping constantly. just to get what I had to go for. But any whoosies, have a good one, everyone. Banuka Souls 109 is off the building. See yous.